Okay, you're on a date, it's been 5 minutes, and you're thinking, oops, I'm out of things to say. How would I keep the conversation going? What do we talk about? How do you make it interesting? Let's look into it. So my situation right now is when I'm on a date, it's very easy for me to keep the conversation going. It's easy, it's effortless, and the conversations flow naturally from being surface level, like introduction, I don't know you, to being deeper on a deeper, more personal level. So what I want to do right now is I want to present some techniques that help me keep my shoulders down and be very relaxed and easy to have a good conversation. So the first thing I want to talk about is something I call the mind map technique or the conversation tree. Okay, so if you visualize a mind map with there's a circle in the middle with the name of the person you're meeting, so it's Jane, for example. From the circle, you have, say, several branches going out, right? So what I like to do before I meet someone is I look through their profile and I look through the text that we sent each other and I write down at least 3 things we can talk about, right? So I have that in each of these branches on this mind map. This is good because once I meet the person, I can start conversations based on these 3 things. And if I run out of something to say on one of the branches, I can very easily go to one of the other branches. And it's not going to be weird because it's very relevant to who she is and her profile and getting to know her, right? When you're in a conversation and you talk about the first topic, you will naturally discover new things to talk about, right? So let's say the first topic is she likes to travel. You ask, what's your favorite destination? And she said, I love to go to Amsterdam. Okay, now you have a new branch to put under travel, Amsterdam. Okay, why Amsterdam? What's so cool about Amsterdam? Now you start talking about that, and new things are going to come up under Amsterdam. Well, she'd really like to look at the art museums. Okay, she's into art, right? Now, what you can do at that point is you can put art up into the top of the mind map again. So now we have not just 3, now we have 4 main topics. And then you can branch out. And what you can do throughout a conversation, if you feel like you're not sure what to talk about and, maybe you've run out of things to say on one topic, then you can jump to another part of this mind map. And what I like about it is it enables me to go pretty much into conversations for an unlimited amount of time. And it's very great for a second date, third date, fourth date, and so on, because you can keep exploring these different topics. A quick little break, because there's something I want to share with you, and that is my pre-date cheat sheet. And what this basically is, it's the framework that got me from being unkissed at 26 years old to living the dating life of my dreams. This is what it looks like. And if you want to check it out, the link is in the description. It's got some basic core behaviors that differentiate a friendly conversation from a date. And there's also a timeline that shows when to apply these different behaviors at the right time. As a last little bonus, I've also added what I call the physicality ladder, which explains what was the most difficult part for me when it came to dating, and that was touch. Okay? So when do I touch her? When do I take her hand? When do I put my arm around her and these different things? Okay, so if you want to take a look at it, it's on my website. It's free. Check the link in the description. Let's get back to the video. Okay, so the second one is listening. And listening, especially for emotional topics and emotional words. On a date, it's a good idea to try to get personal. Because when you meet someone, everything's very surface level, right? You're talking about, why did she go to Amsterdam? Well, my best friend lives in Amsterdam, for example. Okay, hook onto it, right? Now, this is an emotional topic, best friends. Oh, I bet you had a great time with your best friend in Amsterdam. What did you do? So the more personal you can get on a date, the better, because you're building an emotional connection. So start looking for places where you can go more personal and look for emotional words. So the third one, which is somewhat similar to listening, it's using your eyes to observe. So this could be something about her. Maybe she has like a cool tattoo. Maybe she's wearing something cool. She has a bracelet on. It could be something about her personality. Maybe she is very interested in a certain part of your life, or maybe she's very interested in general. You see, she asks you a lot of questions. Then you can say something like, you seem like a very curious person. Would you say you're a curious person? And then you kind of get to know her on a bit of what her identity is. Now, an observation can also be about the environment you're in. So a really great date, I think, for probably everyone, right? But especially for autistic people, if they get a bit uncomfortable just sitting across from someone. And that is taking, having an ice cream or a coffee and just going for a walk. Now, the great thing is that when you're walking, things are happening. So you can observe things, right? So something's happening over there with these two people. You can talk about it. Maybe it reminds you of something. You can ask her a question about it, and it's easy to hold the conversation going. Okay, so number 4 is stay up to date on the news, stay up to date on current events, cultural things that are happening. Whatever you're talking about, something comes up that reminds you of something that happened in the news, or whatever's going on with a certain celebrity maybe, or some event that's going on in the city. And these are things you can talk about and have fun with. Number 5, share from your life whenever it's relevant. A good conversation isn't just questions and answers, but it's like an ebb and flow, and it's, you ask a question, she says something, and then maybe it reminds you of an experience you've had. Then you can share that experience. Let's say, again, she's talking about Amsterdam, and you've been in Amsterdam. Oh, actually been there. Did you go to the Van Gogh Museum or whatever? You can ask her that, right? Or tell her about something you did there. And it's a way to, again, create a good personal connection. She gets to know you. And at the same time, it's not just like an interview situation. So share from your life whenever it's relevant. So the last one that I want to mention here is free association plus segues. So when you're talking to someone, there could be certain things that just show up in your mind, right? Ideas you get or things you start thinking about. But it might not be relevant, like 100% relevant to what you're talking about right there. So then it's a good idea to have a little bit of a segue. So there's a logical connection between the two things we're talking about. Let's say that you're talking about Amsterdam. That reminds you of a time you were in Venice and you were on one of those boats in the channels. You could say, like, have you been to Venice? And it would be just not connected to what you're talking about. But let's say you're talking about Amsterdam and you said, you know what? When you mentioned Amsterdam, I was thinking about the channels. And that reminded me so much when I was in Venice. And then you can start talking a little bit about something that happened while you were in Venice or when you were on those boats. So I hope this video was of help to you. And please leave a comment if you want to. I'll respond to it. And I'll make some more videos coming soon. Hopefully you're doing good. I'm doing good. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.